Hi guys, Stan here. I just want to come on for a moment to let you know that at Sincerely Stan, we're committed to stepping up our game. By stepping up our game, I mean we're committed to producing better video content and better video quality. With that commitment, we are glad to announce that we've brought aboard a couple of local sponsors that are willing to provide some giveaways, some lifestyle giveaways, some nice giveaways for us, for our loyal subscribers. So we're asking you, subscribe to our content and watch us as we grow. Smash the bell button so you'll be notified when things are going on. And just hang out with us because at Sincerely Stan, we're committed to providing a quality content that you guys can enjoy. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to Sincerely Stan, where we talk about things that are important to you, relationships. Today's letter is entitled Rich, Poor, Black, White. How can this be? Let's get right into it. Dear Stan, I got a real situation that's complicated. Here it goes. I'm a 28-year-old marketing director at a global shapewear company in Atlanta, so I travel quite a bit for work. During an extended trip last year to Western Africa, I met a man who I've come to know and whose company I really enjoy. He's an educated black man that comes from a very humble background. His parents are very sweet, tribal family that live in a village. Well, I've been back in the States for 4 months now, 5,000 miles away from someone I care a lot about. His intellect, his bright smile, the genuine concern he has for his country and his people, these are just a few of the things I miss about him. Now the caveat. Uh-oh. I come from a totally right-wing Republican Irish family. I mean whiter than white, Stan. My upbringing was totally privileged. International family vacations, prime real estate, luxury cars, the whole nine. My interest in my friend isn't so much racially motivated as culturally. To be in the presence of people of such dramatically different life perspectives than mine and be so happy is an eye-opening experience for me that in my heart causes me to rethink all that I've come to learn over the years. Though I'm an adult, like most people, I want to continue to please my parents. But now I'm considering at what expense. I have a great career. I make my own money, establishing my own future. So what my parents might or might not leave me isn't a real consideration. My parents would feel like I've performed a treasonous act if I told them about my friend. I'm really all over the place about this, Stan. I'd like so much for my family to support me in this, but there's really a low percentage that this would ever happen. I can't expose my friend to the indifference he may be exposed to in order to be with me. I think he seems to think our love for each other will eventually overcome everything. What a beautiful soul. I'm just not quite so sure. Like everybody else, I just want to thank you for writing in. It takes courage. It takes courage to write in about our personal business. Even though you wrote in anonymously, it takes courage to write into somebody that you don't really know, but that you feel can advise you positively in whatever it is you're going through. So thank you. This letter is one that I really don't have an exact answer to. And the reason being is because there are so many factors that are involved in this for this ever to be. First, I need to know, I understand that you like this guy and you're missing him, but I'm wondering, what are your intentions? What are your real intentions for him? Is it somebody that you would wife up? Is it somebody that you could see yourself being with? Is that what you're saying? Or is this just a passing fancy and something that you could probably will subside later on and you'll go on to other things? So that's something that you didn't quite share. I can identify with the being able to find it refreshing to understand another perspective I remember I had a friend years ago, a female friend. She was just a friend in the platonic sense, and she was from Brazil. And in the evening, sometime in Boston, Massachusetts, we would get together and try to go to some serene spots, and she was into that kind of thing. And I remember her telling me that America is so forward and so fast paced that they miss the beauties of life, like sunsets and waterfalls and flowers and various things like that. And when she said that, that never left me because it proved to be so true. It's actually so true. So that can be refreshing when you have lived a privileged life like that and become content with that. Yet still, you can find someone that has much less than you've ever been exposed to, but yet still they can be so happy and genuinely happy at that. So I understand that that is refreshing. Um, you've been back in the States for a few months, I'm sorry. And these things, his intellect, his smile, the concern that he has for his people, like that shows to me at least you're concerned about character. The character is important to you because over anything else, looks, money, or anything else, an individual's character is what's really going to carry a relationship. And for the caveat, you come from a really totally right wing Republican Irish family. You mean whiter than white. I'm not quite sure what that means, whiter than white, but I'm assuming they don't have any soul. So they're just your averaged upper middle class or wealthy white family. Um, that's a problem. That's going to be extremely problematic. Now, you seem to be dead set on the fact that your parents are not going to be able to accept this man. Have you talked to them yet? Have you tried to explain to them what you've explained to me about how he makes you feel and the reasons being, what a decent person he is, where his background. Now, for them, especially if they're capitalist motivated, um, they're going to be concerned, probably more about what he does or what type of image that will portray being with a black man. I'm assuming he's black. So their considerations are not going to be, I don't think, as pure. I think there's going to be ulterior motives in the decisions that they make because they've established their lives, and so they have to protect their legacy, if you will. Um, this is a tough one. It really is. I think that I don't have any hard answer. I think that if I were in your situation, what I would do is I would confront my family. If you haven't, I prepare them and not just assume. I would tell them how I feel about it and why. And then I would let them process that because it's going to be something that they struggle with anyway. So I would allow them to process that information and see if maybe they can come to terms with it over time. It's not like the man is here and they're going to see him every day. So if they get to know about him and they can absorb some of this, I think that might make the process just a little softer. I also think that maybe you should have this gentleman come over and come to the United States, come and maybe do a soft sell, maybe invite your family out to dinner um, and invite this gentleman and you guys come together and so they can take a look at him and see if some of what you're talking about they can see. Excuse me. I know, listen, I know multitudes of people that are involved or have these interracial interests or relationships, and they're struggling with that. The climate of this world, but particularly this country, the one that you live in, is not good. So I always advise people if you want to be in a interracial, as they call it, relationship, and again, I've dated women internationally and of other races, so it's not that I have any prejudice or bias about that at all in my heart. It's just simply that the truth is what it is, and what the truth dictates is that interracial relationships are rough. They're rough. Um, You have people that, for whatever their reasons being, can't get past that. To see the characters of the individuals, they can't get past the color, as sad as it may be. And so, when you're when I would advise that when people want to be in interracial relationships, that you consider it a little bit deeper or a little bit more seriously, give it a little bit more examination than you would if it were a person of the same race. Consider the things like you're dealing with. What are my parents, if you're young enough for that to matter, or just not young enough if it just matters, period. What are my parents going to think? What's the world going to think? Am I going to be able to sustain that? You get those, you can be in places in this country where that's not accepted, where people may, make snide remarks or give you ugly looks or whatever. Are you guys going to be strong enough to be able to overcome that? Biracial children. If you have biracial children, my daughter's half Puerto Rican. The mom had to learn how to do her hair. She had to actually make a concerted effort to learn how to do Sierra's hair. So these are a lot of the considerations that go into. It's broader than just if the relationships are of the same race. So if these are the types of things that you're willing to consider and you can endure, if you can endure those things, if you come to make up in your mind, you guys, that you can endure that, and if, like you said, that your family, what they potentially would leave you, wouldn't be a consideration if they didn't go along with this and wanted to ostracize themselves from you, then that means that you have, carte blanche to do what you want to do. And I'm saying to you, by all means, do what you want to do. But what I'm saying is give it some serious consideration of some of the pros and the cons, so that you guys can be fully prepared mentally and emotionally if you do go forward. And this advice goes to anyone that's interested in a biracial relationship. You have to prepare yourself for all the sometime or possible adversity that you may or your children may face. So that's about all I can give you, because your friends can't help you here. This is definitely internal. It's a family issue. You know your family better than anybody. You seem to feel like that they're not, you said treasonous. If they're going to consider you treasonous for something like this, I don't know. They've certainly got something to learn, because never should a person not be wanted simply because of their economical status, and certainly not because of their race or ethnicity. So that's all I got. I will say go with your heart, but I'll say incorporate that with an educated decision about some of the things that I've mentioned to you and beyond. You guys need to steel up your hearts if you really want to be together. He needs to honestly know that my parents, according to what you're saying here now, might not go along with this, but we can ride it anyway. If you guys want to be ride or die and do it anyway, then do it. Like Nike says, do the damn thing. But just ride or die, and those conclusions need to be made prior to any kind of permanent relationship, where you guys are totally monogamous or looking to get married in the future, whatever the case may be. Make sure you've considered all of these things and practice them out for a while. You guys can eventually be together, whether you be in Africa or he be here, and just test the waters and see how things go, and see, can you, absorb some of this adversity that you're inevitably going to face with this type of situation. So I wish you all luck with that. I want to invite you, like everyone else, to give us an update. No one's ever done it yet, but I'm sure someone will take me up on it at some point. Listen, come back to us. DM me. We can bring you in on the phone if you want to. If you got a praise report, if things aren't going well, tell us what happened so that we can help and educate others and not making the same mistakes. And just stay in touch. If you know anybody else that has any relationship issues, let them know this. Sincerely Stan is the place to be. I'll talk to you soon. I love you guys. Bye.